Hello, hello, wonderful person. Welcome to this moment in your life. Whenever you're receiving this in time and space, I invite you to take a deep breath in because we have a super new moon in Aquarius. Just like that song goes, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Oh, and what does that mean? So there's so many things for us to try to assimilate from our minds, but I will say, give your mind a holiday. It's been working overtime. If you're a human, you're probably bombarded with a lot of information coming from many sources. And even if you aren't partaking in media per se, it's energetically there. There's a lot of chaos, seeming chaos that is rising to the surface that has the general theme of this versus that. I'm right, you're wrong. I shall dominate, I shall be suppressed. Not that anyone's really saying I shall be suppressed consciously. And that's the theme right now. And the age of Aquarius that we're moving into is an age where we get to let go of the bindings of all of the shackles of the rules of the shoulds. The shoulds, I say it's the only curse word. You can elevate that into higher energy by taking it into coulds and woulds. So rather than saying, I should do this, how about I could do that and I would do it if? That if is the most beautiful nectar of your soul's wisdom coming to you. And you can use that kind of elevated trilogy of the ouds for other people. Well, they should. They should. And then take it like, well, they could do that. And they would if what? This understanding what motivates other people will come from understanding what motivates you. We on this planet are playing a great game of forgetting that we're infinite and remembering. And we are in the high muck of the forgetting coming to the surface. Aw, it's okay. It's the way it was made. It's a very well played game. This business of light and dark was made from the originating source, which I believe we have within us. I like to say that you have within you the exact same creative power that made the heavens and the earth. And this game here on creation is to remember it, to access it, cultivate it, direct it, to enjoy and to share it with others. And we are on the cusp of letting go of the not enjoying, of the unnecessary suffering that happens when we don't play these roles of seeming separate beings from the perspective of the one. We're more ingrained in the more lower vibrational, more ignorant to ignore the truth of our oneness kind of desperate, maniacal claiming of what we think we need that would have to be in direct opposition to the other. And I can tell you, lordy, lordy, can we prove from a linear level the seeming bad acts opposition to the other? I was thinking of this quote this morning from Avatar Meher Baba, and it goes something like this, is that saint has no pride of place, and sinner no sting of eternal degradation. Who is the saint was once the sinner. And meaning that we play these roles. And we are getting right now in this super new moon in Aquarius, a huge energetic uplifting energy. We are at the cusp of an elevation of consciousness, an ascension energy, a high vibrational reboot of humanity, of consciousness, of Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants itself. And it's a lot on the body and the mind. My precious body right now is fiddling around with a cold virus. Aw, if my cough ensues, you'll see some fun graphics. Please stand by while that ensues. Because our bodies, oh my gosh, they are the horse that the rider has, and the rider is our soul. And this horse right now has been riding for a while. Right now, energetically, what I know has happened is that the energy of a new age vibrationally is pouring in, but it hasn't yet materialized. Part of the pouring in vibration is dismantling and dissolving the old. It can be seen as astrologically. There are wonderful astrologers that I follow that I get to receive from. I'm not trained in that, but I am a spark of all that is, and I have within me the energy that made the cosmic alignments and patterns. So I think that's crazy cool. And I love receiving from people that are just so devoted to understanding our relation to the cosmos. We are not separate from creation, we are part of it. We are not separate from nature, we are part of it. And this cosmic rhythm we are part of, and part of humanity, part of our shtick here is we get to have free will and we get to go to our own rhythm, which is awesome. It is a place of high creativity. It's the place where the latent energy of the divine gets to manifest and play. And what that means is, let's just think of like the Big Bang story. This is how I know it. So in creation, before creation, there is just this latent, I always do this motion, all that is energy. I mean, it is just potential, latent, divine, however you know the greater God, great spirit, Jesus, Buddha, Baba, Allah, science, nature, love, universe, multiverses, higher self, higher power, anything that represents something more to you. It could be a community or a group, whatever that means to you. That energy before creation, it's said to have a whim, like to experience itself in the other. Love is the primal force that made all of existence. And let there be light, and then there was dark, was love experiencing itself in relationship. And here's a huge upgrade for the planet and how we think of things. Light and dark are complements, not opposites. This has been coming to me so huge as I have been immersed and receiving the gifts of the sacred feminine divine who is coming to balance the energies of the masculine and the feminine, or the active and the receptive, the initiating and the growing and nurturing, all different ways that we can perceive that. But that light and dark are represented by the active, like lightning bolt force, or the sun shining, and the dark represented by the gestating, nurturing, resting, revitalizing force known as the feminine. When we say the forces of darkness, let's give it a verbal vibrational upgrade and call it the forces of separateness. Because the womb of the mother is dark. There's still punches of light in it, but it's darker. The moon has no light of its own. It reflects the light of the sun. The moon is very feminine energy. A woman's menses move in time with the moon and the tides. So it's a very feminine energy. So when we talk about light and dark, and we want to talk about what we want to advocate for, we want to advocate for oneness, which is a melding and a mixing and a reweaving of that fabric so that we then have that originating power. And let there be light. I like to say this all the time. Whatever the greater infinite is, does not have external genitalia or gender characteristics, just like one. But for the purposes of creation, separates itself into this light and dark, masculine and feminine, active and receptive. And as we play the game of being separate, when we get to come back together and we get to merge them, ooh la la, we have that same creative power within us. That's why we seek that kind of pleasure of the merging. It's seen in nature of the planting of the seed into the dark earth, and then that seed being nurtured by Mother Earth, and then growing, and then being ignited by the Father's Son, if you want to call it in that terms, or however you want to call it. So we are on the cusp of the age where the forgetting has gotten so out of balance that it's time for whoosh, an infusion of oneness energy. And Aquarius is that energy. Aquarian energy is the energy of the rebel, the maverick, the unique one, the one who is quirky, who thinks outside the box. And right now, this particular new moon is a super new moon. And what that means is the Earth is as close to the sun as it will get. Is that right, sun? Let me look at my notes. Closest to be there's the moon. I have my notes here because I'm not an astrologer. Oh, let me tell you who I would recommend following: Pam Gregory, Molly McCord, and Heather Ensworth. There's others that follow astrology from the traditional masculine, but Pam Gregory, Molly McCord, and Heather Ensworth, they're like soul sisters to me energetically, and they help me then transmit in my way what they transmit in their way. So the Earth and the Moon are as close as they're going to get to me, as say they that know. And so that's really cool. That doesn't happen very often that we're so close. It means that the energies of this moon are even more intensified. And then on February 5th, it's going to be a micro full moon, which I can tell you, I, I I can't think of the term like micro without thinking of Sex in the City and the episode with Kim Cattrall with the micro penis guy. And I don't, I mean, Mazel Tov to whatever size the penis is. That's totally okay. But that was so new to me when I watched that. I mean, I see that scene like it was like etched into my memory of like, what? So every time I say micro full moon, I think about that. And that just means that they're as far as away as they're going to be. And that means there's big extremes in energy. So between now and February 5th, you might be feeling big extremes in emotions, in energies, in thoughts, in ideas, in stops and starts. And that is so completely normal. This is a time to have compassion for that rebalancing as the top is going way out of kilter, it seems. There's a poem from the Perfect Master Hafiz from the 13th or 14th centuries. And I don't know the exact line, but it's something like that chaos is really the perception of chaos is really from our ignorance, our inability to understand the order underneath it. So there is order. And that's why really paying attention to the cosmos, I can tell you that Jupiter's not going off half cocked because of what, his mother-in-law did. I can tell you that Venus is not worried about the stock market. I mean, I can tell you that, the Milky Way galaxy is not falling apart because of that divorce. And I can tell you that when someone leaves this realm, the universe knows what is happening, that there is no such thing as death. So whatever our own personal things are, which we're designed to have, well played, Lord, great game. The forgetting is part of the fun. And then the remembering comes when we align with that. And don't forget our precious planet, Mother Earth. She is part of the cosmos, and she has a consciousness that is so unique in all of the multiverses. She hosts we souls that come for this awakening process. And she's struggling too right now. And she is getting an upgrade as well. You can see that in weather patterns. She's struggling. About 10 years ago, I went to Arizona. I love the American Southwest, and I love the land and connecting with the energy of that land. The desert is actually so full of life and energy. But what I could sense for the first time 10 years ago was her communicating to me saying, Cindy, I'm stressed. It's hard for me to hold all this life the way she would want to. So you might be feeling that for yourself too. Hard to hold your life the way you might want to. I've been physically feeling that in my form and my thoughts and my emotions specifically. And I'm seeking out what the feminine brings in wholeness is rest and nurturing. What's happening right now astrologically is so freaking rare. And boy, I think we're feeling it. There has been a boatload of planets that have been in retrograde, which means a time to kind of stop and reflect and, not to move fully forward, but to really take a look at what is. And we fight that, dear ones, because this game of forgetting is so well made by the infinite greater within us and around us. And now all of those planets are starting to go direct. On January 19th, Mercury went direct, the planet of communications. And what's going to happen in the next couple days is the number of planets that have been in retrograde are coming direct. That's like extraordinary. And what that means is a lot of momentum. To me, what it means is like The cervix is fully dilated, ma'am. It's, and you feel the urges to start pushing and you're pushing. It's time. But between those contractions, we need rest because there's so much enormous energy that it takes to birth new life. It's an extraordinary thing. And we're having, like when a soul incarnates in a body and is born, and when a soul gets birthed out of a body, there's tremendous energy. We know it because we can feel it. There's tremendous energy right now as literally a new humanity, a new earth, a new way of being is being born. And it's being born through us. It's going to happen whether we consciously partake or not. Pam Gregory said this amazing thing in her New Moon in Aquarius podcast and YouTube that she did. She said, it's going to happen anyway, and you can be part of being a catalyst for it or not. And when it comes to be, are you going to be proud of the role that you played in this new age? And I like to think, I know what she meant. Pride and shame in the negative current really ball up all of humanity, especially the masculine within us. Oh, sweet Lord. You can't have pride without shame, by the way. They're bedfellows. Pride just avoids shame, and shame beats you down to make you have to have more pride. But that energy and wholeness is dignity and humility. And can we in this moment breathe into the humility of knowing that it's time to let go of what we've held on to as my precious, like Gollum? It felt maybe so good, but it's really old and destructive now. And life is change. They are synonyms. And can you breathe into the dignity of knowing that you have a role in this and you can help yourself, those you love, humanity, all the inhabitants of the earth itself, and be a source of great joy to the cosmos by owning your true self, your superpowers, your role, owning your uniqueness in Aquarius, your rebellious spirit. Fly your freak flag. I have been flying a freak flag of me for decades now. And I can tell you what can happen with Aquarius energy because the ego, which is the force of separateness, doesn't like change. It's the way it was built in. If we went from big bag to union, there would be no game. Games are fun. Plop, 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 plop. You pretend you're separate, and then you get to play. You get to be lover and beloved. You get to be, on football teams and soccer teams and all of those kind of things. You get to be an actor that wins an award. And we get to do that. But that comes from the joy of that and the sustainableness, probably not a word, sustainability of the game. And the joy of it is enhanced for all concerned when we realize that we get to play separate for the purpose, not that we are separate and we have to dog eat dog kind of pit bull ring kind of world. That there's a lot of proof for that out there or in the noggin. Oh, noggins. Just so much love to your precious noggin right now. I mean, and the cells of your body and your chakras and your environments and your bank accounts. Can tell you what's happening with Venus right now. Venus is also the planet that has to do with relationships, but also having to do with finances. Money and love are so related. I am just devoted to bringing the awakened wisdom around the nature of money and what it is. And Venus is very up right now, and we're going to be seeing a lot with old financial structures being, dismantled. Oh. And I would like to say, have hope, have faith, breathe into it that what's coming, the unknown future, will be better and will be ushered in quicker when you reevaluate your core values. Aquarius is a time to reevaluate everything that you thought was true and meaningful. I say it's a time for core values. It's to really know the energies that you align with, not the facts. I can tell you the facts will always change. Always, always, always. Facts always change. Science always changes. Facts always change. History always changes. The way people tell things always changes. Even seconds later, pass it on. We did it as kids. It's just the nature of communications. However, universal truths, your core values align with energies not facts and duality. And those energies, what do you align with? Aquarius is bringing us the ability to align with the value of freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of play, freedom of creativity, freedom of collaboration, freedom of community, freedom of abundance, freedom of resources, freedom of joy, freedom of laughter. This age of Aquarius might, seem like I keep seeing the end of the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell. I mean, freaking genius. And they do a singing montage of everyone dancing to the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I mean, it may look like that. Who the heck cares? Because we will have enough to eat. The air will be fresh. The water will be pure. The children will be clothed. There will be houses. There will love to be had. Venus is upgrading relationships, romantic in all of them, ascended into higher vibrational truths. The truth is that we are not separate. We're playing the game of it. And in relationship, we can feel the oneness again, sparks of it. We still all go to God one by one, but we can enjoy it and feel it. And a lot of the energy in Aquarius right now is bringing us the energy to be able to bring the feminine aspect in this creation that comes from the sacred feminine divine to merge with a healthy masculine being infused with the sacred masculine divine, which really, again, has nothing to do with genitalia or gender identification. It's just energies, active and nurturing energies, and to bring them together in the pleasure of being able to revel and be lost in the oneness for just some periods of time that then become moments and minutes and hours and days. We are moving from the Kali Yuga age, which is an age of destruction of the old, into the golden age, and the Aquarian age is bringing that in. And I heard something really cool. And this was, I was listening to an Aubrey Marcus podcast with this guy who has the title of polymath. I didn't even know polymath was a title. It means like you're a super learned person in multi things. And God bless me, I wish I knew his name. I think he has 3 names, and I think Robert and Egan are part of it. And he said something really cool, that we're moving out of the Piscean age, which had the shadow side or the polarity of Virgo, which had to do with the virgin and virginity. And the shadow side then will get all balled up. And there's so much about the skewed nature of sexual pleasure, and specifically how we enjoy that. And specifically, I would believe from the feminine current, from knowing that the female body has an organ called the clitoris, which is the only organ in the whole human species that's only purpose is pleasure, and freaking great pleasure too, and pulsating pleasure and momentum, and being able to direct it and to receive. I mean, so super cool. And that has been all so off, which prevents the masculine from enjoying it too, or the active, and with all homosexual or pansexual and all kind of relationships, regardless of gender identity or none. There are times when we are merging, yes, one together, but there's also active and receptive. It's just roles we play here in duality. But we're moving into the Aquarian age, and the shadow side or the polarity is Leo. And he didn't say this, but this is what came to me, is that so then what we're going to be working with in the shadow, the Aquarian age, is to be true to ourselves and to be able to work in community and collaborate and allow people to be who they are and find the joy in it and the wonder in it. And the purpose of freaking creation in it is to have the seeming differences playing in a harmony of the different notes of the oneness. But the Leo, I think what we are called to as we move into this new age is to be able to know our magnificence. I mean, Leo the lion, Leo is all like, I am the bomb. And to know that in wholeness would not to be to know it as separate. Like coming from the letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, there's a quote from the Christian Bible that says, if you follow me, you've heard this so many times, I think it bears repeating a bazillion times. What do you possess that was not a gift from the Creator? Then why do you boast as if it were yours? And that has been taken, certainly when I was a young person, to suppress me thinking that I'm wonderful. But in the truth of that, the truth of Leo and wholeness is that I am spectacular. I'm a spark of all that is. Oh my God, yes, look at me. And so are you. And so are they. And so is everyone. And let's all come together. Leo in their wholeness knows their magnificence because a Leo knows that they are one with all that is and get to be themselves the way they so choose. So your Leo might be quieter. It might be dancing around your house. It might be praying or meditating. It might be doing who knows what. I mean, whatever it is you creatively think up to do. Or it might also be just getting delight over your personality. I watched my personality this morning. There was a cartoon called Family Circus. It might still be out. And it was, the family, and it tracked the path of the family and the kids all day. And it was like this all over the place stuff. I went on this. I woke up this morning. I was excited for this day. I mean, I'm just excited for new moons. I mean, they are a chance to plant new seeds. The whole entire cosmos. I mean, the Milky Way galaxy is just one of like 87 galaxies. It's like just in our own specific spinning around that big thing. I mean, it's beyond my mind's comprehension. So I'm excited when the cosmos that was made by an infinite genius that my mind can surrender to and get glimpses of, but certainly I'm not writing the whole cosmos. Cindy Lou can't do it, but I can enjoy it. I'm excited for these experiences. So I got up and I thought, I'm going to put some laundry in. So I put some laundry in. And then I realized I wanted to wash what I had put on. So I put that in. And then I had no clothes on. Naked, as one might say. Ooh, Virgo, shadow sign. Oh, Cindy was naked. And then I went to think, I'm cold now because I hadn't turned the heat up yet. Let me just get right into the shower. And I went to go turn the shower on. And then I thought, I looked in my bedroom like, it'd be good to make my bed. And then I made my bed. And then I thought, I didn't put soap in the washer. So I went back to put soap in the washer. And then I decided, you know what, really, before I take a shower, I should really take a big drink of water with lemon in it, since I'm, my immune system is quickly transforming this cold virus into bye-bye material. Thank you very much, immune system, and virus, thank you for your service. And now you can go. And so I went out again, Cindy naked. And then I realized that it was kind of dark in my living room and I wanted to open the shade. So I did that in some convoluted way so the neighbors can't look in and see, although good for you if you see, because they're real and they're spectacular. And then I got in the shower. And I got in the shower and I just laughed. Like I thought I saw that Family Circus thing. Like that could be, delighting in that could serve the world as much as anything else. Not judging it, delighting in it. I was talking to someone yesterday, Jesus, like a week ago, a dear friend, powerful, crazy, wonderful person. Actually, a couple people that I love very much have this personality trait that they will diminish their greatness or like say something about themselves that's not entirely true. They didn't invent it. Shit, I have it. Do you have it? I'm just using these two examples in the last week. And I will say that I am loving those personality aspects rather than saying, oh, you shouldn't say that about yourself. Well, you could not say it about yourself, and you wouldn't if. And when I get to wouldn't if that wasn't fueled, that judgment current that suppresses or elevates or separates. So I just like saying, and true, I love that about you. When you say that about you, I just love it. I love it. I'm not going to be pulled into it with you. It's adorable. It's freaking adorable. And I want to tell you that transforms that lower voice faster than any kind of shoulda. All right. What else do I want to say? Looking at my notes. Okay, two things before we go to the 5-step ignition. What my unique, not so unique, but the message that comes through me that is time for this Aquarian age is to dissolve the distorted notion of the limits of resources, of supply, of what's needed. I always think of a mother's breast milk supply, like a mother that is, sometimes they might have some biology that's off, but if they're getting rest and proper nourishment and proper support, there's just going to be enough milk. And if a mother has twins or triplets or more, I've seen it happen where the breast milk supply just grows to accommodate the demand or the need. It can happen. And from that micro level to a cosmic level, this Mother Earth can provide for us. The resources are here. They are, in fact, not limited. They are unlimited when we access our true self and the relationship to the planet and the cosmos and the greater infinite that made everything within and around us. And so what we've done as humans, and I say this as like, I mean, I joke about this being the second to last thing I say before I die, because the last thing has definitely got to be about love, because that's all that really matters. And that's really it. But is that money is emphatically not a limited thing. It's not. It's what people agree has power or the ability to move themselves or objects or others in time and space. And we've agreed that it's limited. And then we suffer over that. We compete over it. We war over it. We torture our minds and our bodies and each other over it. Children starve and worse over it. And we are now at the time where you can see this in the economic systems of the world, which I want to tell you, I know how to follow. I've got high gurus in finance, including Penelope Jane Smith, is an incredible friend of mine. I'm watching what's going on in the global economy, and that which is not built on that infinite supply is wreaking havoc on we earthlings and earth creatures and the earth, and it is destined to transform into a higher elevation. And we are part of making those new truth agreements. And the second thing that I will say that is how I'm flying my true self freak flag or whatever it is. Not so freaky. A lot of people are saying this, but the feminine principle, the principle of the mother bear, the tender, passionate lover, the nurturer, the intuit. She is bringing in this new age. She is leading. And there are three specific aspects that have of the feminine divine that are infusing the fierce feminine prosperity power experience, which is an activation sequence of a new prosperity code being birthed from the divine to us through me and others. And you, if you're with me in this moment, that the energies specifically in this moment that I want to share are the energies of the feminine divine, known as Mary Magdalene in the Christian tradition, as Durga in the Hindu tradition, and as Isis in the ancient Egyptian tradition. Those energies are supporting us. You personally and me right now, breathe into those immense energies. I will encapsulate it to very simple words, although there's so much more. Mary Magdalene is bringing the feminine, her true spiritual authority and the ability to radiate that in the beauty and power of the lover, of the beloved. Durga, the Hindu energy, the energy of the Hindu goddess known as Mother Durga, is bringing us the warrior, protector, mother energy, riding on tigers and lions and bears, oh my, not bears, bulls though, and able to protect and transform lower vibrational energies. These energies are within you and around you. And then the third that I'm going to mention in this is the energy of the ancient Egyptian goddess known as Isis. These are all three living energies within us. And I will say that Isis, and encapsulated, and there's so much more, has the power to reunite and resurrect that which even seems dead. She can course through the life's blood and bring us through that holy grail, to use Christian lore, that energy to humanity to revitalize us. So those energies are present with us. And I can tell you, if you have Aquarian energy and if you're willing to find these core truths and to take them into the ideas and to promote them like me or other people are doing, there is a chance that you can be ridiculed and ostracized by others for your belief system, for what you're trying to accomplish or say. It's possible that you could be shunned or even attacked. And I can tell you, I've had my personal experience of that in extraordinarily painful ways. And what I know to be true through all of that is that the love that I have for anyone, including those that might, I've heard terms like stroking my negative ego, like my negative big ego. I can understand that there's a grain of truth in that for everyone, because who's not growing in that? I'm not fully enlightened yet. I'd like to be on the path to it. I'm trying, but it is what it is. But I would rather take a stand on the truth within me and have people maybe shrink or shun that because they're afraid of that, because it is kind of terrifying to let go of what we've known to go into something new and to align with our true self. But it's the kind of terror my dear friend Jen August, an amazing healer and coach and entrepreneur and all things wonderful, says like it's scare-sighted, like scared and excited together. It is scare-sighted. And at a certain point, I came to know that my body and my mind would not allow me to do anything else but to be someone who is paving a way. At the end of this, with great dignity, I can take a deep breath before I take my last breath and appreciate the spark of the divine known as Cindy and what she was willing to do in the name of love. It's all about love. Let go of fear and know that love is there, and build community with like-spirited people. Like-minded, boring. Like-spirited, we get to play more. That's why I've created the communities I've created. The Galactic Council Women, all genders welcome. Freak flag or crazy great flag. Crazy great, I'm saying. Or the gobs and the women asterisks, or anyone who respects and reveres the feminine principle, the female body, and the energy of lover and mother. Women asterisks, attracting and mastering gobs of money and oodles of power, uplifting the world. And also the fierce feminine prosperity power experience, which I now know is an activation sequence that is transforming our ability to be able to create new with the expanded and enlivened feminine and masculine, whatever form merging for myself, for those part of it, and for everyone and everything. It's beyond off the charts, amazing and pleasurable. And that's, with great dignity, we can find our own individual superpowers, whether it is letting go of something, doing something new, joining in community, find those. It can be a lonely experience to know that things ought to be different. I think ought is like should, could, would in the highest form. Things ought to be different. That comes with the tender and fierce compassion of someone who loves and longs to fulfill the purpose of creation, to be love and to experience love in relationship. So in the name of love, let's go into the 5-step ignition. We're already in it fully. So first, just to bring to your consciousness to number 1, let go. Let go of anything that binds you. Let go of judgment of others' bindings, because that will only fuel it. Let go of fear. And to imagine right now that in front of you, to the right, about 12 feet away, is a circle of luminescent medium blue light. In pranic healing, this kind of light holds and transforms. And I invite you to let these lower vibrational energies, these things that no longer serve you, let them move out of your energy field and go into that blue light circle, where it's kind of like flypaper for that. And they'll be loved and transformed there, but just sending that, any wounds from the past, any thought patterns, any illnesses in the body, send them out now. And specifically, any part of your being that has been wounded by or still is affected by, or you feel you'll be affected by this delusion of not having enough or being enough. Send it out. You can see it as words, colors, energies. Send it out now. You are the commander, the sovereign authority of your being. This new moon in Aquarius is giving you the energy to make that so, to materialize it in this world, from the energy realm to the material world. Take a few more deep breaths, even blowing it out. I'm going to count backwards from 10. And at that point, all of the lower vibrational energies, thought patterns, any forms will be fully externalized from you and sent into that blue light. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fully externalize. And then we're going to put that up into a blue ball. And if you have a favorite angel or a representation of the divine, or maybe a really high vibrational violet fire, throw that blue ball into it. Aw, it's getting an upgrade. It's like trash to steam. There'll be more fuel for creation. Thank you for letting that go. And let's go to number 2, is to imagine you feeling the way you want to feel. And that just might be compassion. Start with compassion for the parts of you that still hurt. And then with that compassion for the parts of you still hurt, being fully fueled by the energy of this moment in time and the eternal now, imagine how you want to feel in your life, in your relationships, in your bank accounts, in your jobs, in your communities, in your countries, in your planet, in the world. Just imagine what it would feel like to be you. Knowing not only that you can be fully who and what you are, is that others will enjoy accepting that and playing with you in it. And that you're accepting them in their differences. The judgment monster is just dissolved. No need. There's no threat. It's just play and abundance. And imagine the forces of the planet being regenerated at this moment and in the future nows. And the systems being revitalized so that we all have what we need, plus the ability to share and collaborate. And then feeling the energy of this, slide into the third in the new moon ignition process, which is to materialize it by writing it down. If you don't have paper and pen, you can write it in the air. That's still materializing it using the I am statement. I am that I am. At the end of this whole business of creation, what the divine knows is that I am that. Who am I? I am that. And so you might, if you've been with me before, red and gold or red and yellow or high materialization light vibrations, you can write it with red and yellow or gold or vice versa, or write it in whatever color and color it later, or imagine it. You can write it in the air using light. Your palm and your thumb and your middle finger have the most energy. So if you want to have all three, you can write like this. I am love personified. In the age of Aquarius, still you can concentrate on what you're doing. I will add, I am free to be me. I am reveling in playing with others, awakening and being their full selves. I am enjoying the awakening pleasure of being a human being in a way that supports the joyous awakening of everyone and everything. I am prosperity in motion. I am in full connection to the divine source within me and around me and within everyone and everything. I am that I am. And then sliding into step 4 in this new moon ignition process, which is to open up to allow the support of the greater within you and around you, however you know it, using your imagination for more, to pour to you to make this so. I am going to recommend for this new moon ignition that as you do this, you give your longings, your intentions, all of the things that you want to release and revitalize to how you know the greater, and forget about it. Forget about it for at least 3 days. Get out of the business of the cosmos. Let them do their job. Let go of how it should be done, and let it be done the way it ought to be done with that infinite genius that you're in your infinite genius can say yes to. Allow all of the forces to align and to specifically hold you at this very intense vibrational time where the old is no longer sustainable and the new has not quite materialized. This is an enormous year for death and rebirth energy internally and across the planet. Let the support come in. Stay with love, with your connection to your core values and the greater. And then forget about for a while. Take a rest, have some fun. Take care of that body of yours and mind and energy field. And then let's go into the 5th and the new moon ignition process. And that is, oh sweet Lord, the new age that is ushered in by the feminine principle from the Kali Yuga into the Golden Age is built on the energy of pleasure and joy. We are coming into a new cycle, big new, like 7 era kind of cycle. And we are going to start with this golden age. We can bring in the golden age. When you can know and have some great dignity that you brought in the golden age by being it, by facing the shadow sides, because it's still going to come up. It's okay. Welcome, Earthling. It's what we do on Earth. It's what Earth was made for. That's the planet where it happens. But we're getting a huge upgrade right now, and so are you. And so to have fun, laugh, enjoy, play, forgive. I got to tell you, when you forgive, it's like the tourniquet on joy and fun. Just it's lets goes. Not good English. And what also happens is new ideas and wisdom and inspirations and way of interfacing, even with heinous acts and wounds, come to you. And you find people and places and things to help, to serve, to enjoy. And let's have, in this having fun, some reverence for the principle of surrendering to love in a fierce, ferocious, without compromise way. Let's let the paradox of that knowing your greatness while surrendering to an infinite greater that has now designed humanity to wake up, to awake now from the perception of being separate that has gotten out of hand, and to play separate only to the extent that the healthy ego knows how to say yes to joy, yes to prosperity, yes to vibrant health, yes to harmony, yes to collaboration, yes to laughter, yes to play, yes to forgiveness, and yes to you, and yes to me, and everyone and everything. That's a life worth living. And this new moon in Aquarius is the heavens and the earth are singing our praises right now, are singing your praises, or adoring you for your willingness to be part of the new crew. I keep thinking also of the Lollipop Guild from The Wizard of Oz. We represent the Lollipop Guild. And also, I know there was a lot of things awful with people of smaller stature and all that. I apologize for that. But the Lollipop Guild, that we can be the Lollipop Guild. And yeah. All right, dear wonderful person, and all of you magnificent people. Love, prosperity, power in the new moon in Aquarius. Oh, yes. Blessings. Mwah.